Okay, so today I'm going to give you some information on the Early Start Denver model and why nonverbal communication is important for toddlers and uh, kids in pre-K and stuff like that. So why is nonverbal communication important? So if you think about it, when your kids are little, they communicate with you a lot by nonverbal communication because they cannot talk. So as a parent, you learn really early on what a different cry sounds like. You know if they're hungry, you know if they're dirty, you know if they're hurt, things like that. So they develop their nonverbal communication really early on, and they learn to read your facial cues. Um, Not so much in the very beginning, but towards the end. And so recognizing and using nonverbal communication um, teaches them that they can get their point across not using their words, and you're still going to know what their needs are. Through body language, they understand that they can interpret thoughts, feelings, desires, and interests. So if you look at me and your arms are crossed and you've got a scowl on your face, I know you're irritated about something, even though you haven't said a word to me. So with children to develop these skills, it's very important, and also for them to be able to read these skills from adults and other children around them for their socialization. So the difference with the nonverbal communication in children with autism is that autism interferes with the students learning about the way other kids or adults' minds think. So young children with autism, they have a hard time understanding how messages are sent from one person to the other. They don't read the facial cues. They can't tell if you're happy, if you're mad, if you're sad, because a lot of times they don't understand when they're happy or mad. They don't understand their own feelings, and they can't read cues, and so it's very difficult for children with autism. So the so they may seem unaware that the communication occurs between two people. They don't know the importance of looking each other in the eye. They don't understand the importance of the different facial facial recognition, your features, hand gestures, things like that. And so when it does come to nonverbal communication, it's very hard for autistic students to communicate, just period, with others. A lot of times what you'll see them do is they will physically try to move other kids around or their parents around, grabbing them, trying to show them what to do because they're not using those verbal communication skills. It also makes it difficult for them to tell people about the things they need. If they need to go to the bathroom, they're not verbally going to tell you that. All they know is they need to go to the bathroom, and they might start dancing, so you have to be able to read their cues. But they can't, be able to read another kid's cues and tell that they need to go to the bathroom just because they're dancing around. It's a problem because a lot of times the parents of children with autism make decisions for those kids before the student can try to communicate their wants. So if a kid points, the parent's like, oh, okay, you want that, I'll go get it, and they don't make the child communicate any other way. All they have to do is point. I know as a parent myself, I always tried getting my kids out of that because all they do is they grunt and they point and they go, and I'd be like, okay, what do you want? Tell me in a different way. I don't understand, even if I did understand. And a big thing that parents can do is give them wait time. So if there's something that they want, give them wait time to see if they can figure out a different way to express what they want rather than pointing or something like that. Because if the parents if they anticipate what their kids need all the time, then the kid feels they don't have to talk, they don't have to do anything. So it delays communication development. Most of these children receive speech therapy. They have a hard time communicating. Speech therapists try to help with that. Pragmatics, language, all that development gets slowed down. It takes a long time for those things to be fixed. the socialization of these kids gets hindered because they don't understand social cues whenever they're around their peers. They might do things out in public that are inappropriate, but they don't understand. They have a hard time reading the room. Sometimes I do too, but they have a very difficult time doing that. Some of the things that the parents can do to increase nonverbal communication, again, is give them wait time. Wait for them to find another way to communicate with you. So if they're pointing and grunting, maybe just not ignore them, but say, I don't understand, and have them try to figure out another way to communicate. Don't do everything for the child. Make them learn some independence to do it on their own. Don't anticipate their every need, because at some point they're going to have to become independent. Create lots of opportunities. If you are in the store with your child, talk to them, even if they're not going to talk back to you. Create lots of opportunities for them to use their nonverbal communication skills, pointing things out, trying to get things across to you. And make sure that when you are trying these things with your student, that you are in view of them. Like, make sure they're looking at you and paying attention to you. You catch their attention, make sure they're listening and doing the things to increase their nonverbal communication skills and hopefully get better.